Hello, Emmanuel. I wanted to make a video that just gave you some more information about probably some things you're hearing about me. Um, One of the things I've asked of Emmanuel, of the congregation of Emmanuel, is for a peaceful release from my call as senior pastor, effective May 31st. Now, what that means is I'm asking for a release from my call so that the congregation can pursue um, acquiring and calling an intentional interim pastor. Now, I know that some watching this video are members of Emmanuel and some are not, so I'm going to try to explain all this in the best way possible, but there's also going to be a couple links in the video that you can click on. One is my letter to the congregation, and another one is a document that shows you what an interim pastor is. But just for explanation, this was not my intention in the starting of this. When I was notified of the deployment, I was moving in a way to try to find vacancy help for Emmanuel during the year that I would be gone. Well, in that process, it became very clear that that was not going to be an easy thing to do, especially in the position that I'm in the position that I am holding as senior pastor. In a place this size and the amount of ministries and the amount of things that go on at Emmanuel, it's tough to have just a vacancy fill-in, somebody that's just preaching on Sundays. You truly need a pastor who's here every day almost and helping the principal and helping the different ministries and making decisions and making plans and being visionary. And that just wasn't going to happen in a vacancy. And so by the end of March, I had come to the conclusion on my own that I needed to step aside for the sake of the church and school so that ministry could be moved forward. I want to make it very clear, very clear. Nobody asked me to do this and nobody pressured me to do this. This was my decision for the sake of the church and school. And some might disagree with that. Some might say, well, you know, whatever. It doesn't. The point is that it needed to happen so that the church and school, and especially the church, could move forward with calling an interim pastor, so that somebody would be here, so that ministries would be fulfilled, and that leadership would be given. And that needed to happen. So what's next? Well, let me go back to one other point. It might be said, well, you know, a place has to hold on to a position for somebody because of legal matters. That's true if you're not self-employed, but all pastors and all of our called teachers are considered self-employed here at Emmanuel. We pay our own Social Security and we pay our own taxes. So, being that as it may, it's kind of like a contract, and if either party said, hey, we need to establish and we need to look at this because of things changing, then that contract can be looked at. So I looked at that contract and what my obligations were to the church and what I'm supposed to do, and I said I can't in good conscience say that my end of the bargain is going to be fulfilled while I'm being deployed. So that's when I said I need to step aside so that Emmanuel can find that person who's going to do the job. Okay, so just want to make that very clear. This was my decision. What's next? Emmanuel has already started a call committee to look for an intentional interim pastor. Again, an intentional interim pastor is somebody who is here for a set period of time to help the congregation in looking at itself, reassessing itself, understanding itself better, evaluating itself, and asking questions like, what kind of pastor do we want, and what kind of ministries do we want to see and have around here? And so that's what that person is going to do, as well as other things. And then, and I don't know what the timeline will be, but at some point in the future, there will be another call committee that is established, and that one for the purposes of calling your next pastor. And so that interim pastor will be here to help through that process, and also to take a leadership role in things that just need to be done. So you're going to get far more leadership, far more decision making, far more visionary thinking than somebody who's just here to preach a sermon on a Sunday. And that's important. That's what Emmanuel needs. So that interim pastor, I would expect to be here sometime in June, maybe July. The elders have already met, and the call committee have already met, and have interviewed a couple candidates. One of those candidates is going to be here for a site visit in the very near future, and then a call meeting of the congregation will be called, and one of those candidates will be called as the intentional interim pastor. Again, more information about that intentional interim pastor and what they do will be in a link in this video. Once they get here, it's full speed ahead. Nothing is really going to change. I want to be very clear. Emmanuel's challenges in our school ministry are going to continue, and they're continuing not just here at Emmanuel, but they're continuing at all of the private schools in this area. What we are trying to do at Emmanuel, plain and simple, is be missional in our school and to make it an outreach effort so that it's not just for those who can afford, but those who also can't. And we want to make sure that we're staying marketable to the community we live in. Folks, Freeport's changing, and our economics are changing. And so we need to respond to that. And we need to understand the challenge in front of us and meet that challenge head on. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's going to take some work, it's going to take some effort, it's going to take some visionary thinking and some out-of-the-box thinking. But that's what we're doing. And I got to tell you, I think Emmanuel is the best thing in town. I honestly do. I think that the school is by far the greatest school with the greatest teachers, with the greatest abilities that this community has ever seen and will ever see. I truly believe that. I just think it's a great place, and part of that is hoping that you feel that way also, and that you tell people that Emmanuel is fantastic, and here's why. I think we have resources that are just astounding, and I think we can use those resources to the glory of God, and we can expound on those resources as we use them to God's glory. All that being said, what's next for me? I don't know. I know I'm going on this deployment, and I ask for your prayers in that. We'll see what happens after that. I will be open for a call, and that call could be in whatever direction God leads. If another congregation calls me to be its pastor, then I'll consider that. If the full-time military thing, if that's a call, then I'll consider that. But right now, it's just what's in front of me, and that is gearing up for this deployment and doing what I need to do to keep my family and keep them taken care of while I'm away, and to do what I need to do, also to prepare Emmanuel and put it on the right foot and the right track for what's coming forward. Again, I'm excited for everything that's in Emmanuel's path. I'm excited for the opportunities you have. I'm excited for the pastor that's going to get here. I was telling a group of people the other day, there are thousands of churches in the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, and I don't think any of them have the opportunity, the resources, and the things that Emmanuel has here in a town like Freeport, Illinois. It's a fantastic opportunity. And even as I'm talking to you, kids are running into the gym over here, and I can hear their voices. I mean, just a joy to be here. And so I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss Emmanuel. I'm going to miss it a lot. I'm going to miss each and every one of you. And I'm going to be praying for you. I'm going to be looking up what's happening, and I just can't wait to see what God is going to do in your midst. But here's the thing, and here's what I want to leave you with. God's not going to do anything when you're sitting down. God's going to do stuff when you are in accordance with His will, and you're pushing forward, doing those things which He's given you to do. There's a great event in the life of Jesus when He's coming into Jerusalem and everybody's singing hosannas, and some people tell Jesus, you need to keep these people quiet, and Jesus says to them, if they didn't, the very stones would cry out. I don't want you to wait for the stones, the earth to cry out. I want you to join in that song. Join in that song of grace, and join in that song of forgiveness, and join in that song of what God has given to Emmanuel Lutheran here in this place. The resources are astounding. The people are great. Sing that song. Sing it in the community. Tell people about how awesome this place is, because I believe it is. I believe this place is great, and I hope that you share that message. Have a great day. God's blessings to you. If you have any questions of me, feel free to give me a call at the church, and take care, and I'll be praying for you. You're in my prayers. Please pray for me and my family. Thanks. God's peace.